Hello, my terrific Taurus, and welcome to your moon reading. This is just a general reading, so please do take what resonates and toss the rest. Also, if you haven't had a chance to check out your weekly energy reading, please do so. And if you enjoyed this reading, please do like, subscribe, share, all that great stuff. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss your July monthly reading, which will be going up very shortly, hopefully. So without further ado, we are going to do a 7-card moon circle. So let's get started here. This first card is indicative of what you are kind of dealing with now or what your current situation is. The second card is kind of what got you into this situation. The third card is kind of like a challenge card in your typical tarot reading. It is what's kind of keeping you in this cycle or situation. Fourth card is your ultimate outcome if you were to follow the 5th, 6th, and 7th card. So let's take a look and see what we are working with here. Hopefully you can see that. If not, I'll show it a little bit closer as we go along. But we have patience, okay? So for some of you, I feel like maybe you are just playing a waiting game, okay? And this could be something where you feel like your patience is running thin. You are just being overly patient. You're like, okay, enough is enough is enough is enough. You've been waiting forever for that relationship. You've been waiting forever for that relationship to move forward. You've been waiting forever for that job or that promotion or whatever it may be. And, you're being patient, but, it's like enough's enough, right? And for others of you, maybe you're just completely out of patience, right? This is like, okay, this bubble is about to, or balloon rather, is about to burst because you're just, you've had it. Patience is a virtue, but it's also like, okay, once it gets too far, it's like starting to be a detriment for you, right? You feel like, okay, I'm wasting time now. So I think for some of you, this is a situation where you feel like your patience has kind of turned into almost kind of like an issue where you feel like you're just wasting time. You feel like it's a struggle. You feel like maybe you might need to change directions, those kinds of things. So you're kind of like losing patience at this point. What got you into it is your will, okay? And your will is a great, amazing thing, right? Having willpower, having the fortitude to stick to it, right? That's fantastic. But again, for many of you, what I feel like is that you have kind of stuck to your issues or your guns or your you've put so much time, effort, and energy into it, like really trying to just will it to happen. If I just stick to it, if I just keep at it, if I just wait a little longer, and will it to happen, it's going to happen. But that you've been so patient with it that by doing that, it's kind of like you're getting to the point where it's like, okay, am I getting to the point where I'm wasting my time now? Could I have started something totally different and have made complete strides by this point? You're starting to kind of rethink that, right? You might be wasting time at this point. You might be feeling like, I should have just walked away. I could have started over new and been 5, steps ahead of where I am now, if I hadn't just tried to keep pouring time into it. But also there's kind of a situation there too, where you feel like, okay, but now that I've put so much time into it, I kind of want to keep going because I don't want to waste time either. And that's where your will is kind of getting you in a little bit of trouble, right? Because your willpower was good to kind of stick to it, that fortitude of stick to itness, right? But now it's kind of like to your detriment because you're also like, yeah, but now I don't want to quit because then it's a waste of time and you just don't want to give up. But again, you have to kind of start balancing it, thinking about it. Is it something that, you're wasting time? But wasting this much time is one thing. Is it something you want to waste this much time, right? So you really have to start kind of weighing it out, right? And what's keeping you into it is pleasure, right? So for a lot of you, you're enjoying the fact that, you like this. You like the fact that you are kind of keeping that strength, keeping that power, keeping that fortitude at getting something, right? Even if it's not really working out to what you want, okay? You like the fact that you're sticking to it. You feel like you're not failing because you're sticking to your guns, right? You're sticking to things. So that's pleasurable for you. For a lot of you, it's like, okay, but I haven't quit. I haven't given up. And as long as I haven't given up, there's still hope. There's still, a chance. There's still, I've still got that, chance to get that promotion, get that raise, get that job I want. There's still a chance that I'm going to get that next step in this relationship, whether it's moving in together, getting married, you know, having kids, whatever it may be for you, those kinds of things, right? So you're taking pleasure in the fact that you are, you know, being very willful, right? You enjoy the fact that you aren't quitting. You're not a quitter, right? You enjoy that. That is very pleasurable to you. But again, this is kind of keeping you in that because on one hand, you're feeling very proud and very happy about the fact that you are not being a quitter. You know, you're feeling like that's strong, that's fortitude, that's all that kind of stuff. But on the other hand, you kind of have to look at it in the big scheme of things too. Are you cutting your nose off to spite your face, right? Are you kind of putting so much willpower into the fact that you don't want to quit, that you don't want to walk away because you'll feel like you're letting yourself down, that you're actually letting yourself down by, you know, wasting your own time, right? By being too patient, by letting so much time go by that, you know, you're missing out on possible other opportunities that are better, that are more, you know, advantageous, that would possibly be quicker, better, happier in the long run, and maybe would propel you faster to your goal, right? So your ultimate outcome here is resistance. And I think that's the thing, is you need to resist the fact to, you know, continue to wait. Honestly, I think for a lot of you, you really need to take a look at it and say, I've been too patient too long. If this was meant to happen, it would have happened. If this was going to happen, it should have happened already. You know, I don't want to keep wasting more time. I'm doing this out of my sheer will, but sometimes, you know, just being stubborn, will can become stubbornness, right? That can be kind of something where your willpower becomes a stubborn situation, and that becomes, you know, actually a detriment, not a positive, right? And so you need to resist that tendency to say, okay, well, I'm not being, you know, I'm not going to be defeated. I'm going to keep pushing through. I know I'm going to get what I want in the end, yada, yada, yada. But if you have to fight that hard for it, is it really what you needed? Is it really what you wanted? You know, and if you have to waste that much time to get it, is it really meant to be? Is it really something you want? If you have to work that hard for it, you don't want to have to chase. You don't want to have to fight, battle, and, you know, go head to head for a relationship or a job or things like that 24/7, on and on and on and on and on, you know. So you might need to resist the tendency to keep being patient. You might need to resist the tendency to impose your sheer will, because at this point it's becoming stubbornness, right? And so this is what your ultimate outcome may be. You need to just cut it, right? Whatever it is you're waiting for, whatever it is you're sticking to, just cut it, start over. You know, you may be able to accomplish more in 6 months by starting over than what you've been spending years trying to accomplish right now, because you've just been stubborn and fighting for it, right? But how do you get to that point, right? That's the question. So the first thing is extremes, okay? And this may be something where you have to take an extreme action. You know, you may not be a person who likes to do that. You may not be somebody who wants to do an extreme change. And for many of you, I think that's what it is, right? Because this is long term. It's very long term for most of you. Your patience has been overwhelming, right? Really long term. So you're going to have to take an extreme action, right? You're going to have to go the exact opposite way. So if you've been, you know, really, really, really super patient, calm, waiting, you're going to need to put your foot down. You're going to need to give that ultimatum. You're going to have to go to the opposite side. And either they're going to accept that and propel you forward, or you're going to need to walk, right? Because just sitting stagnant, waiting, being stubborn is not helping you. If it was, you wouldn't be getting to this frustration point right now, okay? The next thing you need to do is create, right? You need to create your own path. This is where you decide what you ultimately want, okay? Because you've kind of convinced yourself, I think, a lot of this, that you want this, because a lot of times we convince ourselves that we want things because we can't have them, right? You're like, okay, this isn't working the way I want it to, but I'm going to make it work, right? Especially if we're strong-willed people, right? And that's what's gotten us into this. That's what may have got you in there, right? So if you're a strong-willed person, you kind of convince yourself, this is what I want. No, I'm going to make this happen. No, I'm going to. And that becomes that stubborn streak, right? So you need to kind of revamp, rethink, create it. Give this opportunity. If this isn't working out, if it doesn't happen, go the opposite way. Think, what is it that I really want then? Maybe this isn't even what you really wanted. You just were kind of dead set on making it happen sheerly for the fact that you wanted to prove you could to yourself, right? A lot of us get in that. We get in that scheme, like, I want that person, or I want that job because it's so hard to get, right? Or, you know, I wanted that person, I didn't want them until somebody else had them. Then you have to have them, right? You know, it's always you want what you can't have kind of thing. And so the more that you spend waiting and not being able to get what you want to happen, the more you keep going at it, right? But that's not healthy or good, right? So once you've put out that extreme, if it's not coming for you, if that's not happening for you, create a new path. You know what? Create something totally new. This may be something, your chance to start over, try something totally different, something that may be perfectly in line with what you really want, totally different. Maybe you thought this was what you wanted because you convinced yourself of that, and now there's something totally new, different type of job, different type of person in your life, whatever it may be. And I think, you know, you'll really see that there's more options out there that are more enjoyable to you and that will come easier, right? That you won't have to impose your will to make happen. It'll be more seamless, enjoyable, right? That's the point. You want to be more seamless and enjoyable. You don't have to force things like that. And the last one here is discernment. And that's exactly what this is kind of dealing with. You want to be discerning next time, right? You want to choose the things that make you happy, not the things that you have to force, not the things that you have to beg, borrow, steal, wait on, pour your heart and soul and your life into to make happen, and, you know, spend your life, you know, wasting away waiting, you know, for that little breadcrumb. But be discerning and choosing what you want, right? Because you're really the prize here, right? Why is this job? Why is this group of people? Why is this situation? Why is this person making you wait? Okay? They shouldn't be. You should be the one making the decisions. You should be the one deciding your own future, your own destiny, your own choice. Okay? Otherwise, you're just spinning your wheels, right? So be discerning. Choose what's best for you and the right people to have around you based on what you decide is what's going to make you happy, okay? And yeah, it's going to take some extreme measures, okay? It's going to take some, you know, laying down the law, throwing out some ultimatums, cutting ties perhaps, but, you know, it'll be the best moves that you do make because it's going to keep you resisting the chance, the time, the waste, okay? It's going to resist all of that waste of your time, waste of your patience, waste of your willpower that you could pour into something that's so much easier, more fruitful, more abundant, more enjoyable, all of that. So that's your ultimate outcome there if you are doing these things. So hopefully that all worked out for you. If it did, please do like, subscribe, share, all that other great stuff, and I hope to see you back for your July reading. Bye.